Hello everyone. This is gonna be my ranking and review for the new NFL schedule that came out yesterday. One game that I don't really understand is the timing and the timing of the date. So Wednesday, September 9th, we got the Patriots and the Seahawks. I don't know why we're having a game on Wednesday, but if any of y'all know, please leave that in the comments because I have no idea why. I'm okay a little bit with the Patriots and the Seahawks going against each other again this early, but I'd rather it be like 2 years from now. I do think that the Seahawks will win again. Um, I just don't really think the Patriots are going to win this one. They might come close, but I don't think that they will pull it out. On Thursday, September 10th, we have our first Thursday night game. 49ers, sorry. Rams. So this might be a pretty decent game. Um, so I do think the 49ers might be a little bit better. I know that they had some injury issues, but I think last year if I remember correctly, they kind of just was pretty solid with injuries last year. Instead of Amazon Prime, like every Thursday night game, this Thursday night game will be on Netflix. Um, Around the same time, 7:15, or 8, but no, it's 7:35 p.m. or 8:35 Eastern. So here we go with our Sunday games, September 13th. Let's get all the big game, pretty much what I think the big games will be. Um, so I think this is gonna be a really good game. This game might come down to the wire, and that is, um, Green Bay and Minnesota. I do think that this will be a really good game. And, it's starting off in the NFC North. So I think that, I don't know, there's still some talks with who's going to be the next quarterback with the Vikings. If that's going to be Kyler Murray or McCaffrey. My honest opinion, I think Kyler Murray, just because I think he's a little bit better than McCaffrey. But we shall see in time. And Green Bay pretty much got their team set up pretty much. So I'm gonna go with Green Bay on this one. Um, Another game that could be good if Daniel Jones is coming back at this time, and that is the Ravens and the Colts. I honestly do think that this game has potential of being a really solid one. Um, so we might even see this team, same thing with the Green Bay and Minnesota game, these four teams making it to the playoffs. If Daniel Jones is playing, if he's healthy enough, then I will go with the Colts. If not, I'm gonna go with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry with the Ravens. Those are probably the only two like big games that are going to be coming. No, we got another one and Monday 14th. I really do think that this will be a really solid one. This is another rivalry, AFC West rivalry. Monday night, the Broncos and the Chiefs. Now I know that Patrick Mahomes will not be playing in this game. Travis Kelce will be returning on what we know so far, possibly. But the Broncos did make it pretty far in the playoffs. We're not going to talk about what happens in the Bills game. But I honestly do think that whoever will be starting, if it is Dust Meyer or Justin Fields, if not, maybe a bit of both, this will be a very interesting game if they can get their act together, since last year was not their best year. So we shall see what happens. So those are, I think, the only big games in week 1. So let's go with the other ones. The Bears and the Panthers. I do think the Bears will win this game. I do think that the Panthers might be getting their footing up a little bit. Now, it might be very small, but I do think that they will have a comeback in these future years. So I am taking the Bears for this game. Now I gotta talk a little bit extra stuff about the Buccaneers and Cincinnati game. I used to be a Cincinnati Bengals fan for a very long time. I started watching the Bengals on Joe Burrow's second year. So what happened next is this basically some stuff that I did not approve of. This team ended up this falling after they made the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Each year that they have become worse. So I will not be surprised if they don't make it at all. If their playoff chance is absolutely eliminated, I won't be surprised if they lose this game. So, to be honest, I'm going with the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers made it really close. They needed, I forgot who it was, I think the Falcons, to lose. Or to win. For them to enter the playoffs. But that did not happen. I am taking Cincinnati. No, I'm taking the Buccaneers for this game. Now we got the Saints and Detroit Lions. This game will be a shutout. The Lions will probably beat the Saints. Probably pretty bad. Now look, they did find their quarterback in Stroff. But there's still some things that they have to do. So we'll see on what is Stroff's second year going to be. Now, here we go with my Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. I honestly do think that this game will be a really solid game. I do think the Texans will give a very solid fight. There are some posts around going and seeing on how strong and how much muscle CJ Stroud is putting on. So I'm really interested to see what's going to happen. But I do think that the Bills will win this game. So, we got Cleveland and Jacksonville. I know some people, I watched the draft and, people ranking the draft, what teams were the best with their drafting, and I heard a few say the Browns. Look, that might be true, but I have to say they would not win this game. With Jacksonville entering the first round of the playoffs, being beat by the Bills, and still getting the Bills pretty a hard fight, this game will be won by Jacksonville. Now, also something you have to put in perspective here. The Browns don't have a starting quarterback. They have 3 quarterbacks that they have to test. They got Sanders. They got their rookie that they drafted, and they got Deshaun Watson. So I again going for Jacksonville for this game. Now we got Atlanta against Pittsburgh. Another team that, two teams actually, that are having some quarterback issues. Atlanta is going to go with a quarterback battle with Penix Jr. and Tua. Now, thing is, Tua might get the job before Penix Jr. has a chance because of getting over his injury. Now, rumors say that Aaron Rodgers will return. But the thing is he really? And is this going to be his last year? I honestly think that he should have retired this year. If not this year, he should retire this season. Alright, now we got New York Jets and the Tennessee Titans. These are both small teams. These are two teams that are still trying to find their footing. I heard that the Jets possibly had a pretty solid draft, but I still see them as pretty bad teams. So, but I do think that Tennessee, with the better quarterback possibly, and with the better players, I am gonna go with Tennessee for this week, before week 1. Now we got the Chargers and the Cardinals. Now the Cardinals are having no quarterback apart from Brissett, and the Chargers being a pretty solid team and making the playoffs a few years back, and also even last year, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Now we have Miami and the first round pick, the Las Vegas Raiders. To be honest, I don't think the Raiders are ready. Now, it's very different with college football and NFL football. They are going to have a battle against Mendoza and Kirk Cousins. Yes, Mendoza is a very strong quarterback. He puts his body on the line for the team and for the game. But eventually, one injury will make wrong, and he won't be like that anymore. So he still has to go through the coaching, and they got to go through the quarterback battle on who is going to be their number one guy. Now, Miami got a new quarterback that I have very high hopes in, and I made a video in the beginning, one of my first videos of this channel, and that is Malik Willis. He started with the Tennessee Titans. He went to Green Bay, and then he just started improving, and now he has a chance to start on his own team. He is the replacement for Tua, and I'm very happy about this, and I have very high hopes with the Dolphins quarterback. Now, for as team, I am not 100% sure, because I think they have lost Waddle, and Tyreek Hill has not re-signed or signed with any team yet. So, I think that Miami might pull it off. I don't think this is going to be a very nail-biter game, but it might be a back-and-forth game. And now we have the second to last game of week 1, and that is Washington against the Eagles. This is going to be a very easy game. The Eagles will win. I don't really have much to say on that. Now we got our first Sunday night game, the Cowboys against the Giants. Now, you can say what you can say about the Giants and what you say about the Cowboys. This is another NFC East matchup. The thing is, I don't have confidence in either of these teams. I really don't. Now, I am going to start doing FanDuel this year, but I probably won't do anything with these two teams. I'm probably going to be going with more of the teams that I trust. So if I had to choose, probably the Giants because they got a little bit better players. Alright, so that is week 1. So now let's go to week 2. Now here is a very exciting game. And that is the Lions and the Bills prime time. Thursday night on Prime Video. This is the Bills opener to their new stadium. I am very happy. I am very excited to watch this game, and it's going to be a one that goes down to the wire. In my opinion, if they have a good season with the Lions and the Bills, I can see this possibly being a Super Bowl game in the next coming Super Bowl. Let's see. Here's a possible good game. Sunday night, the Chiefs getting another primetime game. So we got the Colts and the Chiefs again. If Daniel Jones plays as good as he did before he got hurt last season, this will be an absolute banger of a game. Now again, I'm not 100% sure when Patrick Mahomes will be coming back, but I do believe that if the Chiefs at least are solid, this will be a pretty good game. So I will go with the Colts since I don't like the Chiefs. Let's see. Here's a possible good one. We got Minnesota and Chicago. This will be a very solid game. This is a NFC North rival game. So this will be a absolute game to possible watch because these two teams will possibly go against each other, or even both these teams will enter the playoffs. Now the Bears did enter the playoffs last season. I don't think the Vikings made it. Y'all can correct me on that if I got that wrong. We got no, we don't got any other big games. So we got a NFC South rival game. I'm starting to notice that there's a lot of rival games coming out right off the bat of the season. We have Carolina and the Falcons. This game will be absolutely interesting because you have the Panthers starting to get their feet up a little bit, and the Falcons trying to figure out who is their quarterback. Now, Tua will probably be playing this game because of Penix Jr.'s injury. So if Tua is playing this game, and if he does solid their first game in week 1, I can absolutely see the Falcons winning this game. Here is another game that the Saints will lose. That is the Saints and the Ravens. I just don't think the Saints are this ready to go against these big teams. Now, yes, the Ravens, I just remembered, are going with a new coach. So we can see if that's going to have a big impact on this season or not, on these little teams and big teams. But I will go with Ravens this in week 2. The Texans and the Bengals, I'm taking the Texans with this one. The Texans will probably win against Joe Burrow, and it's just a better team. Now we got the Steelers and the Patriots. To be honest, if the Steelers do at least as good as they did last season, I can see the Patriots losing this game, but I don't know. I feel like the Patriots might be a little bit better. Possibly getting AJ Brown. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots with this one. Now here's a very easy one. Well, here's a few easy ones that are coming up. And I just noticed a big game as well. We got Green Bay and the Jets. Green Bay will beat the Jets. Again, the Jets are trying to find some footing on trying to get to become a not bad team as they're known for. But the thing is, the Packers will win this game. Now let's go to that big game that I just noticed, our decent game. Jacksonville and Denver. These are two teams that made to the playoffs. Denver made a little bit longer stretch than Jacksonville. But I do think that Jacksonville might win. So we have another pretty easy game. That is the Browns and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I do think that the Buccaneers will win this game. Again, the Browns are still trying to figure out who they are with quarterback. So, I am going with the Buccaneers with this game. We got the Chargers and the Raiders. I am going with the Chargers. They are absolutely a better team. We got Tennessee and the Eagles. I am absolutely going with the Eagles. Now, we got the 49ers and Miami. The 49ers are probably the better team, so I'm going to say the 49ers will win this game. And then our last game, Monday night, the Giants and the Rams. The Rams will win this game. So now if we go to week 3, we got our second Thursday night primetime game. And that is the Falcons and the Packers. This might be a decent game. But I do think that the Packers will pull this game out. Now we got the Chargers and the Bills. This will be an absolute banger of a game. This will be an absolute game to watch. Because these two teams might very well go back against each other in the playoffs. So this will be a very solid game. I'm going to stick with the Bills, even though that I think it will be close, and maybe even a team that might, even though that a game that might go in overtime, I do think that the Bills will pull it out. We have a few interesting primetime games for Sunday and Monday night. We have the Rams and the Broncos. This will be an absolute another good game. The Broncos going against the Rams. I do think the Rams are a little bit better, so I am going to go with the Rams. Now we got another very interesting game for Monday night, and that is the Eagles and Bears. I do think the Eagles are a little bit better team than the Bears, so I am going to go with the Eagles for Monday night. So now we got Carolina and the Browns. I do think that Carolina will probably win this game. So, then we got another Jet loss with the Lions. I do say that Lions will win against the Jets. Now here's a possible solid game as well. The Houston Texans against the Indianapolis Colts. I do think the Colts will pull this one out. Again, if Daniel Jones is healthy and he played as good as he did last season, I can see the Colts going for a very tough run. Now we got Jacksonville and New England. I do think that Jacksonville is the better team, so I am going with Jacksonville. Now we got the Chiefs and Miami. The Chiefs, if they're good this season, they will win. Um, so I am gonna possibly go with the Chiefs. Now we have the Tennessee Titans with the New York Giants. These are other two small teams that are trying to find their footing, that have a little bit more footing than the Browns or some other teams on this list. And that is, I think that the Giants, because of Jackson Dart, might be a little bit better than Tennessee. Now we got Cincinnati in a rival game against the Steelers. Now I do think that the Steelers might pull it out. It might be a close one, might be a pretty interesting one, but I do think that the Steelers will make this game. Now we have Seattle and Washington. I do think that, yes, the former Super Bowl winners will win this game. Now we got Arizona and the 49ers. I do think that the 49ers will win this game. Now we have Baltimore against Dallas. I do think that Baltimore will win this game. They are the better team. They are the stronger team. Now we got two small teams going against each other. The Saints and the Raiders. And I think this might be where the Saints might get their first win. And we have, if I didn't mention this one already, Minnesota against Tampa Bay. This will be a possible rematch in the playoffs. But I do think with Kyler Murray being on this team and having Jefferson, they might win this game. Let's go over to week 4. Alright, we are starting off with a rival game with the AFC North for this primetime game. That is the Steelers and the Browns. Browns, I am really sorry that if you're watching this, but I'm going to say that the Steelers will win this game. Now let's look at these other primetime games before we get to the Sunday games. For Sunday night, we got the Lions and the Panthers. I do believe that the Lions will win. We got a rival game with NFC South. The Falcons and the Saints. Saints, I am sorry, but the Falcons might be a little bit better team here. So now let's go to the Sunday games. Indiana against Washington. I'm going to go with Indiana. Tennessee against Baltimore. I'm going to go with Baltimore. A rival game against AFC East. The Bills and the Patriots. The Patriots might win this game. Now we got another loss for the Jets, and that is the Bears will win against the Jets. Jacksonville will win against Cincinnati. We got the two Texans teams going against each other. The Texans, Houston will be the winner of this game. We have Arizona and Giants. The Giants will have a better chance of winning this game. You have the Eagles, a pretty good team. And a pretty good team in a NFC East matchup. And no, this is an NFC matchup. And this two teams might come against each other in the playoffs. Now, I do think that the Eagles might be slightly better than the Rams. We got another good game, the Packers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I do think that the Packers might be a little bit better. We got Miami against Minnesota. Minnesota will win that game. The Chiefs against the Raiders. I'm going to say the Raiders with Mendoza. And depending on where they are, I'm going to say the Chiefs might win. The Chargers and Seattle. This will be a very, very solid game. And possibly if the Chargers get over the hump, this can be a team that the Chargers can go against each other in the playoffs. We got probably a pretty decent game. Denver and the 49ers. I do think that Denver might win this game. And if we go to week 5, prime time, Cowboys and Buccaneers. Buccaneers will surely win that game. And we got the two Sunday night and Monday night. Sunday night, we have the Ravens and the Falcons, the two birds. The Ravens will pull this one out. We got a pretty decent team and possibly a Super Bowl preview, and that is the Bills and the Rams. I am going to say that the Bills will win this game. Now, here are the Sunday games. We have the Eagles against the Jaguars. The Eagles will win this game. Bengals in Miami. Miami will win that game. New England and Las Vegas. New England will win that game. Minnesota and New Orleans. Minnesota will win that game. The Jets will win against the Browns. The Colts will win against the Steelers. The Texans will win against the Tennessee Titans. And I can see the Commanders winning against the Giants. The Chargers winning against Denver. The Lions winning against Arizona. Packers winning against the Bears. And the 49ers winning against Seattle. Seattle Seahawks against the Broncos for prime time for Thursday. Seattle will probably win that game. For Sunday night, the Packers and the Cowboys. The Packers will probably win that game. Commanders against the 49ers. The 49ers will pull out the win. Houston and Jackson. Jackson will probably win. Bears and Falcons. Bears will probably win. The Ravens and the Browns. The Ravens will probably win. Tennessee against Indiana. Indiana will take the win. New York Jets and New England. New England will probably get the win. The Giants will probably win against the Saints. Eagles will win against the Panthers. Buccaneers will win against the Steelers. See, we got 3 more games. We got Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chargers will probably win out this game. The Rams will beat Arizona, and the Bills will beat the Raiders. We're almost to the halfway point. The Patriots and the Bears. We probably got the Bears. Here is a very solid game. If Patrick Mahomes is back, this will be a very, very interesting game. And how much I don't like the Chiefs, I can see this possibly being a Chiefs-Seattle Super Bowl preview. But I do think if Patrick Mahomes is back, the Chiefs will win. If he is not, then Seattle will win. Now we got the Cowboys and the Eagles. The Eagles will simply win that game. Now, here are the Sunday games. Pittsburgh against New Orleans. Pittsburgh will probably win that game. 49ers against Atlanta. 49ers will win that game. The Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Ravens will probably win. Buccaneers will win against Carolina. Houston will win against the Giants. The Colts will win against the Vikings. Miami will beat the Jets. Tennessee will beat Cleveland. Denver will beat Arizona. Green Bay, nope. Detroit will probably, well, yeah, Green Bay will probably defeat Detroit, and the Rams will defeat Las Vegas. All right. We are at our halfway point with week 8. So let's go through the primetime games. Panthers and Packers. Packers will win that game. Eagles and Commanders. Eagles. Bears and Seahawks. Seahawks. And Eagles and, yep, already said that one. Now we have, here's a very interesting game, a very powerful game, and that is the Bills and the Ravens. Being a Bills fan, I think this one might be where the Bills will lose. Now we got Tennessee and Cincinnati. Tennessee winning. Arizona and Dallas. Let's get Arizona that win. Now here's a really interesting game. I'm going to go with Detroit against Minnesota. Indiana against Jacksonville. Let's get Mendoza a win against the Jets. The Steelers a win against the Browns. The Buccaneers a win against the Falcons. The two LA teams going against each other. I'm going to go with the first one, and that's the LA Rams and New England and against the Chargers. We do have some very interesting games this season on what I have named so far. So which one are you looking forward? What game are you looking forward to the most? So we got the Chiefs and the Broncos. I am going to go with the Broncos with this game. New England against Miami. I am going to go with Miami this game. Alright, week 9. Jacksonville Jaguars against the Ravens. The Jacksonville Jaguars will come out with the win. On Sunday night, we got the Buccaneers and the Bears. I do think that the Bears are a better team. We got my team, the Bills, and the Vikings. The Bills will get a win. And now we get our Sunday games. Cincinnati and Atlanta. Cincinnati will win that game. Denver and the Panthers. Denver will win that game. The Colts against the Cowboys. The Colts winning. Jets and the Chiefs. The Chiefs will probably win. Detroit and Miami. Detroit will win. The Saints will win against the Browns. The Eagles will win against the Giants. The Rams will beat the Commanders. The Chargers will beat the Texans. The 49ers will beat Vegas. Green Bay will beat New England, and Seattle will beat Arizona. All right. Week 10. We got 8 more seasons. Weeks. Commanders and Giants. This will be a very interesting one, but I am going to take the Commanders. That is Thursday night. Now we got the Bengals and the Steelers. I am going to go with the Steelers, the Chargers, and the Ravens. I am going to go with the Chargers. For Sunday, we got New England and Detroit. Detroit, Chiefs, and Atlanta, Chiefs. Houston and Cleveland. Houston, Minnesota, and Green Bay. I feel like I have said that like 5 times. But I do think that Green Bay will win. Colts against Miami. Saints against Carolina. Bills against the Jets. Jacksonville against Tennessee. Raiders. Nope. The Rams against Arizona. Seattle over Las Vegas. 49ers against Dallas. Thursday night prime time for week 11. The Colts against the Texans. The Colts will win that game. Vikings and 49ers. I can see the Vikings possibly pulling this one out. Commanders beating Monday night. Again, Commanders beating Bengals on Monday night. Now let's go to our Sunday games. Bills will win against Miami. Baltimore will win against Carolina. The Bears will win against the Saints. Tennessee will win against Dallas. 49. Ooh, this would be a good one. The 49, Tampa Bay and Detroit. I'm going to say that Detroit will win that game. Chiefs and Arizona. Chiefs. Jacksonville against Giants. Jacksonville. Jets against Chargers. Chargers. Raiders against Denver. Denver. And another possibly solid game. And that is the Steelers against Eagles. And I'm going to say, for some fun, the Eagles. Alright, week 12. We're almost there. Alright, the Packers and the Rams on Wednesday, November 25th. We got the Packers and Rams. I am going to say the Rams. That is also on Netflix, for y'all can know. We got Thursday, November 26th. These are the Thanksgiving games, I believe. You have the Bears and the Lions. I'm going to say that the Bears will win this game. Dallas and the Eagles. The Eagles. And we got the Chiefs on Thanksgiving night against the Bills. My Bills will win this game. Now we got the Black Friday game. Broncos and Steelers. I am going to say that the Broncos will win this game. We got Sunday night and Monday night. The Patriots and the Chargers for Sunday night. I am going to say that the Chargers will win. The Buccaneers will win Monday night against the Panthers. Sunday, November 29th. The Saints will win against the Bengals. The Raiders will win against the Browns. Probably a pretty solid game. The Ravens will win against the Texans. Colts will win against the Giants. Jets going against the... so Indianapolis on top of the Giants. Raiders beating the Browns. Jets losing to Miami. Vikings winning against the Falcons. Jacksonville winning against Tennessee. Washington winning against Arizona. Seattle winning against the 49ers. Possibly a very interesting game for this Thursday night game. That is the Chiefs and the Rams. So we got the Rams, in my opinion, will come on top. Sunday night, Texans and Steelers. Texans will win. Seattle and the Cowboys on Monday night. Seattle will win. For our Monday games, we got Detroit and the Falcons. Detroit will win. Jacksonville and the Bears, a pretty solid game. I am going to go, but stay with the Bears. We got the Bengals and the Browns. The Browns will probably win. Green Bay and the Saints. Green Bay will win. 49ers and the Giants. The 49ers will win. Another possibly solid game. The Chargers and the Tampa Bay. I do think that the Chargers might be a better team here. Washington and Tennessee. Washington will win. Eagles and the Cardinals. A bird fight. The Eagles will win. Miami and Denver. Denver will win. Carolina and Minnesota. Minnesota. We got a rematch. The Buffs and New England. I am going to take the Buffs for this week. Alright, guys, we're almost done. We got week 14. Thursday night, Vikings and Patriots. Vikings. Packers and Bills on Sunday night. Bills. Monday night, Steelers and Jacksonville's. Jaguars. Jaguars. Tampa Bay and Baltimore. Tampa, New England, and Carolina. Carolina. Atlanta over the Browns. Lions over Tennessee. Bears over Miami. Denver over Jets. This would be a pretty solid one. The Colts and the Eagles. Colts over the Eagles. Houston over Washington. Los Angeles Chargers over the Raiders, and the Chiefs over the Bengals. Seattle over Giants. 49ers. 49ers over the Rams. 49ers and the Chargers on Thursday night. 49ers. Sunday night, Lions and Vikings, a possible very solid game. I am going to go with the Lions. The Patriots will lose against the Chiefs on Monday night. Carolina will beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Nope, change that. Opposite. Miami will lose against Packers. Jacksonville will lose against the Houston Texans. Giants will win against the Browns. Steelers will win against Baltimore. Tampa will win against New Orleans. The Colts will win against Tennessee. Commanders will win against Atlanta. Cardinals will win against Jets. Rams will win against Dallas. And Denver will win against Las Vegas. Texans and Eagles on Thursday night. I'm going to go with the Eagles. Now we got Friday, December 25th. Merry Christmas, everybody. Friday, November 25th. Packers and the Bears. The Bears will win. Rams and Seattle. No, Rams. The Rams are the better team here. Bills and Denver. Bills. Now, the 12 o'clock and 3:30 games on Friday, December 25th, they are both on Netflix. And the 7:15 game will be on Fox. Just to get y'all a little heads up. On December 27th, Sunday, we have Cleveland and Baltimore. Chargers and Miami. Chargers. Arizona and Saints. New England. Jets. New England. Tennessee. Raiders. Tennessee. 49ers. Chiefs. 49ers. Sunday night, Jaguars, Cowboys. Jaguars, Giants, and Lions. And I'll go with the Lions on Monday night. Now, there are 4 games that do not have a time schedule yet. That is the Buccaneers Atlanta game, Cincinnati Indiana game, Washington Minnesota game, and Carolina and Pittsburgh game. But I am going to put in my projections now. Colts will win against Cincinnati. Bucks will win against Atlanta. Vikings will win against Washington. Washington will win against Vikings actually, and Carolina will not win against Pittsburgh. All right, we got week 17. One more week, y'all. Ravens and the Bengals. The Ravens will win. New Orleans and Atlanta. Atlanta will win. Seattle. Yeah, Seattle. Atlanta will win against the Saints. Seattle will win against the Panthers. Indiana will win against Cleveland. Giants will probably win against Cowboys. Bills will win against Dolphins. Minnesota will win against Giants. No, Jets. Pittsburgh against Tennessee will win. Pittsburgh. And the Cardinals winning against the Raiders. And Detroit winning against the Bears. Sunday night, Eagles, 49ers, Eagles, Texans, and Packers for Monday night. Now we do have 4 more teams that do not have time schedules yet. That is the Commanders, Jacksonville, Chiefs, Chargers, Rams, Buccaneers, and the Denver against New England. New England will win that game. Commanders will win their game. Chiefs will lose. No, will win. And then the Rams will win their game. Alright, last week. The last week, we have 2 determined games. All of these are determined for as times. So we don't have no times nor way to watch. But here are all the teams. 49ers and the Cardinals. 49ers. Pittsburgh against Ravens. Pittsburgh. Jets under will lose against the Bills. Carolina will win against the Falcons. The Bengals will win against the Browns. Chargers will win against Denver. Detroit will win against Green Bay. Houston will win against Tennessee. Jacksonville will win against Indiana. No, Indiana will go against Jacksonville. Las Vegas will go against Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs will probably win. Seattle will probably win against the Rams. Bears will win against the Vikings. New England will win against Miami. And Tampa Bay will win against the Saints. And Philadelphia will again win against the Giants. And Dallas will win against Washington. So that is all of them. I have mentioned some Super Bowl previews on what teams I can absolutely see going to the Super Bowl. So put in y'all's records in the comments, and I will see y'all next time.